Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another bike parts video. Today I wanted to do a product review on the brand new 1.5" fatbagger easy install kit. So I've already done a review on the 1.25". This is their brand new 1.5". So that segment of the market, the 1.5" handlebar for the Harley baggers, has continued to grow, and this is what these guys have brought to market for that space. So before we get into the specifics, let's talk about the fitments that they offer. So for the 1.5" easy install kits, Fitment includes 2008 and up bat wings, so like your street glides, your ultras, your limiteds, and 2015 and up road glides. You can get them with the pointed top or the more traditional rounded top. You can get them in black or chrome. So there's your fitments. And then on the price point, to go from 1.25" to 1.5", the price has typically only went up about $50. So very aggressive price point, especially considering what else was already available in the marketplace for 1.5". These things are a slam dunk. They are easily my favorite 1.5". So without further ado, let's talk about why. So what you're going to get out of the box, incredibly well packaged, is this particular one is a 12-inch chrome pointed top 1.5". And the way that fatbagger has done these handlebars that I think makes them so unique and different from every other 1.5" that's on the marketplace, it really ultimately comes down to their manufacturing process. So these handlebars are all manufactured right here in the United States, and because the product that they use and the machining capability that they have in their shop, one of the things that really sets this bar apart is the tip-to-tip width. Typically when you're doing 1.5", you have to have the bar step down to 1 inch down at the grip. Then they normally will go from 1 inch to 1.25" to 1.5". And then you've got to swedge the bar along the way. So you take the inch, you push it into 1.25", you push it into 1.5". But in order to keep strength, you have to have so much, let's call it meat. You have to have so much meat on the metal where they push into one another that you don't have a bar that's flimsy. Well, because the way that these bars are manufactured, they are able to reduce that amount of space necessary to keep strength. So unlike some other 1.5" on the market that have almost 40 inches of tip to tip, these only have about 36 inches. So that's going to keep you in a much more natural position as you sit on the motorcycle, aligned with your shoulders. So that's the first and one of the biggest differences on this 1.5" versus other 1.5's. They also do a really good job down here at the bottom where the handlebar transitions from 1.5" to 1.25". The reason that they have to tuck this down a little bit is so that because this is designed for the batwing fairings, as this curves under and around the fairing, it does not necessitate you having to trim any of the fairing away to get this 1.25" to fit. That's another nice feature about these bars. And the third, and perhaps my favorite feature about these, is that, let's go back up to the top. We were talking about how the handlebars are normally swedged one into another, and so you get this stepped effect as it goes from where the grip is up to the 1.5". The way that fatbagger has engineered this handlebar is you have this collar with a set screw down below, so it's clockable. And what you're able to do with that is your master cylinder is able, when you mount it on the handlebar, your master cylinder is able to sit right up against the edge of the handlebar, and there's basically zero transition from where your master stops to where the handlebar starts. This is not a bagger master cylinder, but it's still going to communicate the idea. That transition from all your control, switch housing, master cylinder, immediately over to 1.5" is the most seamless transition of any 1.5" I've ever seen on the marketplace. So when the product is installed on your motorcycle, it is going to look significantly better than any other product out there, just because the lines, the way that it flows on the outside is incredible. So those are some of the features that they're doing on the outside of the handlebar that make it really incredible. Let's talk about what they're doing on the inside of the handlebar that really makes it different. So like I said, these handlebars are all manufactured right here in the US. And the way that they're able to get this spiked look right here on the 1.5-inch handlebars and not make it a nightmare for you installers is because each one of these corners starts life as a solid chunk of billet. And then they go in and they machine the inside of these out, so that way there's zero weld right here. So every installer knows your worst nightmare is a big old pile of slag laying right on the inside of here on these pointed bars, because then when you're trying to do your internal wiring, that slag can catch your wire and worst case scenario, just absolutely destroy your harness and you won't be able to use the handlebar. Well, rather than doing other methods out there, like say doing a nitrogen purge on the inside of the handlebar to reduce your slag, which that does help, or using stainless, which is absolutely prone to throwing slag. Any welder knows welding stainless is always a challenge. What they've done is they just said, you know what, we'll do zero weld right there, and we'll just start with a piece of billet. So that means because the manufacturing, it's totally smooth on the inside, there'll never be a surprise. So if you are doing this yourself in your garage, you're not going to have that surprise. So that's how they've made these corners up here ideal. And then down at the bottom, what they've done is fairly unique. So here's a kind of a cutaway so you can get a little bit better view. This is, when they mail you the bar, it's going to be two pieces. But then as you put the bar together, you've got a set screw, and that set screw sits down in the middle. The two pieces lay one on top of the other, and then the set screw goes right down the middle and joins the two handlebars together. So we mentioned that these are called the Easy Install Kits. Everything you need is inside the box. So before we wrap up, let's talk about the kit function. I wanted to show off the way that these guys have gotten ingenious in extending the handlebar cables. So the way that this kit is able to save you so much time is because it does not necessitate the removal of the tank or the exhaust system, but the idea is that you continue to extend your stock lines. Well, for the hydraulic lines, they're pretty much all the same. You've got a banjo that goes up to either your hydraulic brake or your hydraulic clutch. Then down at the other end, you've got a speed bleeder where you take the end of your factory line, which already has a banjo on it, you slip this through, you connect it, and you just effectively extended the rest of your hydraulic line. But on a mechanical clutch, the question is, well, how do you extend a mechanical clutch? This is what they came up with, and it's absolutely ingenious. We've got a little box here with 4 screws and a cap, and when you take this thing off, you can see down on the inside where they've come up with a very simple idea. You've got this simple little fork system. One side is going to hold the end of your extension, and then the other side is going to hold the end of your factory clutch line. And inside the kit, you get a little bit of lubricant. You squirt the lubricant in there, connect it, put the top back on, bam, you just extended your clutch line. So just an ingenious method to extend the factory clutch line. So in summary, a few things about this fatbagger kit that I really love. On the outside of the handlebar, it is hands down the best looking kit. The way that they transition from where your masters and your controls are to the 1.5 inch is, again, just flawless. And these masters are clockable. They're designed to work with your factory clutch and brake. All the thought to detail on the inside of the handlebar, having zero slag, so when you're doing your wiring, you're not going to have any surprises. The fact that the handlebars are going to show up without damage every single time. And then also the price point, especially when you consider the Easy Install Kits, where it comes with everything you need inside the box. The handlebars are available to be purchased kind of in an a la carte scenario if you want to run some other brand of cables, or say you're running on a Road Glide, a set of 12s. For 12s on late model Road Glides, you don't need cable extensions. So the bars are available a la carte, but the Easy Install Kits, everything you need is in the box. There's colored step-by-step photo instructions. So that is a quick product review on the new fatbagger 1.5 inch handlebar. Go out, pick a set up for yourself. You won't regret it. They are my favorite 1.5" handlebars available on the market, hands down. Great, hope you enjoyed it. Click like, click subscribe. Stay on top of all the new product that I'm going to continue to do reviews of. And thanks for spending your time with me. Have a good day.